Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hey, how's it going out there? We're just feeling your energy and came on, checked out so many comments and questions already in the chat. Love that you're all on here discussing things and sending out intentions. So, any news to share, Kristal? I guess we want to talk a little bit about your program that's on this afternoon, your Beyond Karma show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. My second Beyond Karma show coming up today, and hosting it solo today for my first time, which is so exciting. So I get to, pull some cards, answer some questions, share some good news, and just tune in with all of your beautiful energy and come into some really, I think, beautiful, potent conversation together. I feel like this is really powerful, energetic times that we're in. And there's a lot of information flying around and a lot of energy. And so it's always such a pleasure to really come into attunement with all of you.
And I really encourage you all, thanks, Kristal, and I encourage you all to, if you are able to make it to the live, at least maybe this week and next week, just to show up there and give Kristal some extra moral support. It's pretty scary for her. When I watched her do her first one, I was like, oh, that's not the Kristal I know. She looked very nervous, and it was kind of a bit unsettling for me to see her looking like that. So just to be aware that this is a big step for her. And
I didn't look nervous. I looked really excited. I was very excitable.
Anyway, just if you can go over and check that out, we'll put the link in the section below. And yeah,
beautiful.
Love it.
Look at everyone.
So we've got questions pouring in here already. In fact, we've already got enough questions to cover
probably
today.
Cap the show.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
Definitely. So we're going to start with one of your questions, Leo, and you've posted a few, but there's lots of other questions in the chat.
There's also comments in there, so they've posted a couple questions and a couple comments.
Yeah, so we're just going to look at this question of yours, and then you can bring the other ones on next week. And Kristal, you want to go ahead and shuffle?
I'm going to clear first.
Oh, great. Good idea. Oh, there's that devil.
Put him on the bottom. Bottom of the pile for you.
So just tuning in with people's energy. Christopher is saying, hello, lovely ladies. I feel a powerful reading coming. Yeah. And I'm just going to put up quickly the questions that we plan to get to today so you can know to stick around. So Leo's question, the first one is about what 3-1 Atlas is.
3-Eye Atlas.
3-Eye. So sorry, 3-Eye Atlas, real purpose for being here. And then we have an interesting question from Christian about doppelgangers. Very curious question. And then a really cool question from Ricky. Thank you, Ricky. Question, did Edgar Cayce predict that women would be alone in this 2025 to remove the cabal programming of the past and restore women's spiritual gifts by going within and raising their vibration? Wow. Boom. Yeah, that's a big one. And then I really like this one. Probably close off with this one. What can spirit?
No, Dawn's is after that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep. No, you keep on.
No, it's.
Pardon me.
Dawn's is
her.
After that.
After that. Yeah, you got it.
I don't know if we'll get to yours today, Dawn, but we'll do our best to do that. Yeah. There's a question from A Call to the Universe. Thank you for this amazing question. What can spirit tell tarot readers about using AI to interpret tarot pulls, specifically or especially when it comes to ego-based questions that should be answered by someone else? Well, for one thing, ego-based questions shouldn't be answered at all. But yeah, let's get into that. That is an excellent question. So, start with Leo's and shuffle about
Three-Eye Atlas.
Three-Eye Atlas. I haven't been really paying attention much to this.
I have. I just tuned into JC's show with, his name escapes me. Y'all know what it was about, talking about Three-Eye Atlas on Sunday, the Wacky Woo. So just tuned into some of that. Really quite interesting stuff.
Okay, well, maybe you can share with us, Kristal, what your perspectives were.
Well,
after tuning in with that.
let's see. I mean, I only got a bit of the way through it, but so much to tune in with. On top of tuning in with ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tuning in with the long weekend and some beautiful outdoor time, working in the yard.
We worked in the yard yesterday, and my back and my hips
Labor
and my legs
Day,
were so
labor in here in Canada.
I woke up, I was like, why am I so sore? Oh yeah, I was pulling weeds. I was pulling morning glory that has grown all over everything and is taking over. And
I'm gonna do 3.
okay.
And for us to so to look at sort of why it, where it's coming from, the past sort of, and then its purpose as it comes in, and then what is the outcome of that. I feel like, how do we feel about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it, and
I do love it.
I have some perspectives
from
what I'm seeing of the cards, because again, as I said, I don't know a lot about this topic. So other than what we've already looked at here, I think we looked at this a couple of weeks ago. Interestingly, whatever this is designed to be a communication, whether it's an on-world, off-world, interdimensional, almost feels a bit more on-world to me, I have to say. It feels a bit more like an inside job, and that it is designed to get people kind of thinking outside the box, to really expand our perspective, and there's also something about, like bringing us together with common focus. So we have a lot of division that we've seen in the last few years. It's gotten more and more polarized in a lot of ways. And yet this is a kind of, it's a bonding, because this is the joy and celebration card in the middle. So it brings everyone together. And 3 it's a lovely card. This 3 of Cups, it's celebration. And then it brings us together to do something new, start some new practice in the 3D realm. So we're going to look at something that we do differently. You want to pull maybe a few more cards on that, Kristal?
Yep. Right on point here. It was absolutely the show with JC and Dick Alec something. That feller, great, quirky fellow. He's quirky and brilliant. I love it. Okay. Ooh, interesting. 2nd 6 there as well.
Okay, this kind of gets almost into, I have to say, this gets into a little bit of the good news show that Kristal, what she's putting on her good news show today about that boy that discovered the Mayan, 15-year-old boy from French Canada, discovered Mayan temples by using star maps, looking at constellations, laying them over the maps of the Mayan territory, and recognizing where there were missing stars where they haven't found the temples yet. Anyway, just fascinating. Kristal's going to bring that up on her Beyond Karma show. But it feels to me like there's a lot of incarnating young astronomers that are like, this is designed to get people literally outdoors, looking at the stars, the younger generation kind of off their devices and thinking about bigger things than the latest whatever, right? So it feels like it's meant for the younger generation. And we have 2 6s here. what are the sixes about?
Harmony,
collaboration. So, and then we've got that 3 of Cups. So this is something about getting us, it's like, if it's not an inside job, it's an interdimensional job. I don't get an off-world thing, but interdimensional also can relate to past or future versions of ourselves. So we sent something to get people kind of not just afraid, beyond fear, into like, let's have some really amazing conversations. Let's get curious, and let's get out of feeling this 8 of Swords stuck.
Yeah. Stuck in the 3D, stuck in the sticky. I mean, these phenomena, these when the universe interconnects in our 3D earth bubble in this way, it really reminds us, and it shows us undeniably that there's so much more beyond our earth plane, and that we are interconnected with it, and to begin to wake us up again to get curious, as the pages are, and to connect us in a way also to our own inner wisdom that a lot of these children are showing us, that are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these children are showing us how much internal wisdom we actually carry, how potent we are when we are not trapped in the stickiness of our programming.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is...
Mm-hmm. So 3i Atlas, real purpose for being here is, I think, to make us curious, open us up, tap us into our ancient wisdom, and be led by this, like, seeing how as Mom says, the children respond
the
to
new
something like this, the new
younger generation, and not all of them, but there are quite a lot of like ancient beings coming into this time. And it, Kristal, the other story she's sharing is also about 2 10-year-olds, and it's pretty wild. Wait till you hear it. Go over and check that out. What time is your show? We're going to get the right time today. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Is that correct?
5 p.m. Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
You bet. 2 p.m. Pacific. Absolutely. And then boom, right after is As Above, So Below. So
yeah.
pretty close too. So it's well, not right after, but I think we've got an hour between us.
Yeah.
Just
so
enough
ours
time
is
to
at 7 o'clock p.m.
get some snacks in you.
Right.
And hop on over. Beautiful. Anything else to share about that one?
I feel like that's pretty good.
We nailed it. I was just looking to see some comments, and we'll scoot on to the next. So lovely to see everyone here. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
It's always so fun. Your questions are amazing.
Amazing. Next.
Doppelgangers. Okay, we were just
You
talking about this. What were we talking about? Somewhat, you said somebody looked like an actor from before.
I sure did.
Yeah, and then I had seen that thing on all these different actors that looked like they could be doppelgangers.
Particularly if people like from history too. There's a lot of that stuff. You even covered that in your past lives.
Oh,
course,
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, that was wild. If you check out the past life course on Beyond Mystic, I talk about there's a phenomena where people have reincarnated, and they literally are the splitting image of their earlier version of themselves. Like they come in and they actually are able to somehow put together the avatar body that represents the similar appearance of the one that they had in another lifetime. And so, but that is from different eras. That's not coexisting simultaneously. And then we get into the whole concept of cloning and purposeful two Trumps, two versions of a Trump 2.0, four versions.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot we could go for here, Christian. Actually, let's look at the phenomena from a 3 different perspectives. Let's look at it, middle one, please, from spiritually, like if it just happens to be, where you are walking down the street and somebody says, oh my gosh, you look so much like this other person. What does that mean?
Okay.
And then let's look at it from past lives perspective. And then also from the role that it's played in deceiving us with different people posing as other people. So I guess imposter syndrome or something. So let's put this one in the middle and then this one over here. Yeah. The imposter doppelganger. Because to me, there's 3 different things going on in a way, right? We have where we look like someone that is alive right now, or 2 people that are alive right now look really similar. Also, someone looking like someone from history, from the past, and then finally, where people are literally being portrayed as being, there's 2 or 3 people pretending to be one person. So, what are you getting?
Well, I get that with the spiritual part of it, there's something that's really sweet about it. I mean, look at all these beautiful cups there, right? Ace of Cups, 9 of Cups, Knight of Cups there. So this is like, just the spiritual phenomena of like, wow, there's somebody else out there that looks like me. And do they feel like me? Is there like, and it invites in this sort of, I just keep hearing sweetness around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's actually like more of you to go around the better or something like that. Like it's like, right. And there's,
if you're a sweet person, if you're not a sweet person, the
true.
Opposite of that.
And yet there's some, like, it just looks,
it's almost like natural, like sympathetic frequency, like you have, you share something. I know I have a nephew that looks a lot like me, and it's kind of a long story, but yeah, it's quite startling. He doesn't have blonde curly hair. In fact, I think he's bald now. But in terms of facial shape and like profile, it's really almost uncanny. It's pretty extraordinary. And so what I've noticed is that we get something about each other, and it feels like in a way we share some similar kind of family karma. Like, I mean, we all do, all the relatives do, but he and I, there's like a sympathetic understanding, sort of like twin energy. It reminds me a bit of twin energy, right? It's like there's just this, your frequency is doing something that is sympathetic, that you're maybe in some kind of frequency stream. You may respond really differently to what you're doing. Like you might not act the same, just like twins can look the same but not act the same, but there's something really obvious that they share. And this is within families, that we can look like people. We can also look like people that aren't in our known family. So absolutely. I wonder if it is like a stream, a kind of soul stream energy. Do you feel that, Kristal, with those cards?
Yeah.
Because all those cups, and they're all
especially
very positive.
with the stream here, it's like I see the 4 streams and the 4 directions. There's something that's like, there's some sort of unity between the souls. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Your physical appearance is a kind of karmic unity or something like that. So there's that. Then we talked about when you look like someone from the past. Interesting. What I get that is like, here we got the 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the 6 of Wands. Like we're building on a foundation. So we're picking up a loose thread of where we left off. It's almost like a karmic continuum. And that's what this person that discovered that he looked just like this Civil War general. And then he discovered that all of his, it's in the, you can find it online too. You can look it up. It's like reincarnation, extraordinary phenomena. And he discovered that not only did he look just like this Civil War general, but his crew, he was a fire chief, and the men under him looked like the men that were working with the soldiers under this general. It was just bizarre. And so they realized that they were repeating, like they were coming back to do something to carry on what they were working on together as a group or as an individual. So you could come back looking like someone. I remember hearing about an Edgar Cayce doppelganger, and it's funny that we're going to be talking about Edgar Cayce here in a minute. And this person was stepping in and carrying on Cayce's work. So something to think about. And then the last one is imposter impersonators. And yeah, interesting. The impersonators already have to be kind of doppelgangers, like, because I see this,
Yes.
It's like they'll go looking at actual real doppelgangers, like when you're going to get, so like the Trump 2.0, obviously they went and found somebody that looked pretty close, right? They're not going to go and just pick any old person. Like it's going to be somebody that has the physicality, the mannerisms, and we see this, right? You meet people that have those similarities, and then they forge on top of that to build more similarity. But they never really get it 100%, 80%, right? You can't really ever fully impersonate someone else. But that's the interesting, it's just bordering on the illusion of like the mind.
Like the Seven of Cups.
Yeah, the Seven of Cups is the illusion. The Eight of Cups is just a step beyond that. So the mind will just kind of go, it doesn't take a lot to create that illusion. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so could it be a fractal of your soul that you are seeing?
I think that's could be true, but it's often other people's. Like it's often you don't just see it. In fact, often when people point out people they think I look like, which doesn't happen that much, by the way. I'm kind of like going, I don't know about that. I don't really see it, except with my nephew. I see that. But yeah, I'm not sure. It could be a fractal of your soul. It's hard to know. I feel like maybe it's more, that's a bit what we're referring to there, where it's a soul stream, where we're not separated. The soul is still kind of whole and holy, but there's a stream that we're in. And this is where it gets into the differentiation between soul and karma body. So in my awareness, and this has come through for me like over the last 25 years, is that we have a physical karma body and we have a spiritual soul body. And then when we come into a life, the two are married for better or worse. They got to work together. So the soul can have all kinds of like high aspirations and be ready to do a lot. But if the karma body is still stuck in all these different ways, they got to work through that first. They don't get to just bypass that. And likewise, the karma body is going to be very affected by how it is met with the soul. So it's part of the spiritual work that the soul and the karma body work together. So I feel like what we're referring to over here is this is being in some kind of karma body stream, because it's the physicality that looks the same. But the soul, I don't think it's a fractal of the soul. if that makes sense.
Who's to say? Who's to say?
I'm to speculate, apparently.
According to German folklore, all living creatures have an identical but invisible spirit double.
Mhm.
Yeah, so who knows? I love it though.
Yeah.
And I think that is a great question. Thank you so much.
Truly, truly. Okay, Ricky's question. Let's find that awesome question.
Yeah.
And yeah, we figured out the little
word bloop.
Word bloop there, Ricky. Where is that?
Keep going up, 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 up.
There it
you
is.
go. Up, 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 up.
So did Edgar Cayce predict that women would be alone in this time, 2025, to remove the cabal programming of the past and restore women's spiritual gifts by going within and raising their vibration? Look at that. There's an example of what I was just talking about. Like, I didn't even see the word restore. I saw the word restore. And I remember reading this book years ago, and they had 2 or 3 sentences in it where they wrote it using that code. There's a way that you can write with that code where
It's
you
like
leave
the first and the last.
Yeah, they leave out all these letters, and you can still read what it's saying. It's incredible. You can look at it and dissect it and know it doesn't say that because the letters are all jumbled up and missing. But your brain can figure out what's being said. Isn't that that's just amazing?
I was talking about this the other day with a client of mine at work doing hair, and it also to me shows me how programmable we are, where we don't even, all they have to give us is like certain bookends of nuggets, and we go ahead and do the rest.
Our
like
brains
it's just like
programmed.
Yeah.
Fill in those blanks.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
It's such a example of like where they don't even need to give us the whole truth or reality or whatever. It's like we go ahead and create the rest.
So here we go, sliding into this conversation now about Edgar Cayce's predictions that women would be alone in this time.
To remove cabal programming.
To remove the cabal programming of the past and restore women's spiritual gifts.
And I feel like also not just women, but the spiritual gift of the feminine in men as well. Yeah, in each of us. So let's have a look.
The first one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am or jammer. Okay. Focus answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Let me just get them in there.
Yes. Isn't that interesting that this was the card that came up around past lives and looking like somebody from the past? Remember, we had the 9 of Pentacles there. We got 2 aces here as well. So not a lot of feminine at the moment. Not a lot of feminine here, Ricky. We have sovereignty. We have, I'm even getting that the timeline is a little off. So if he predicted 2025, it feels more like 2029. And that there's something about sovereignty for individuals first before women can step in and do some of this, or the feminine can step in. And what it is it's about creating a safe container of, what are we calling it? Trust and transparency earlier. And women can do this work within themselves, but it starts in our personal lives. It starts in our relationships. It starts, we can't go out there and solve the world's problems if we haven't solved the small micro version of it inside our own inner realm and close association. Because like a healthy thing, it grows from the inside out. We don't fix it from the outside in, but we can have that intention. That's what we want to see evolving and healing. And there's 2 aces here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sending us in the future here a nudge in the right direction, a nudge in that we can step out of just holding ground in the past of this sort of scarcity, the fear around security, the 3D wounding around the program about money and lack and fear, and that like being under the dominating force, which has been more in the masculine and more in the patriarchal sense of things. Now we're, as mom said, with the timelines, um, I feel like it cut through. It kind of cut through some bullshit. Pardon my language. It cut through some crapola and exposed a lot of the darkness, actually. So this prediction, I feel like actually sliced through something to allow this shadow side to come forward.
Mhm.
And then what we do with that is really working with our energy bodies and our emotional bodies rather than the mind so much to come into this state of sovereignty is really going to happen for us when we come into the balance of the masculine and the feminine.
Mhm.
And yes, this is the sovereign feminine here who may begin to lead the way and take the reins from here. I feel like we're really going to come together in unity in ourselves for this going forward. So the spiritual gifts, I mean, the spiritual gift, I think, is going to be through the initiation of us doing a lot of this work of going into our darkness and our shadow and um, noticing where we carry these wounds in all of us. It's a real collective thing. We have the opportunity to really step into the new world here. We have an opportunity to really step into new ways of working with our energy and working with our emotions.
Mhm. Let's put a few more cards down. I mean, I'm fascinated that the moon is in the center there.
Which is us right now.
Well, it's all of us, but it's also, the moon is often associated with the feminine energy. Right? Yeah, because there's the two aces here, I feel like it's going to be team effort. It's going to be, but what I do feel is that one of the things that the feminine will stop doing, it will stop, and I'm saying the feminine in all of us, it'll stop hiding and subversively manipulating to get its needs met, and it will start to sort of activate a little more, which means have a little bit more oomph, pushback, but not in an aggressive way, just more of a catalyzing way, but following that up with a lot of love and care. So this is the way forward, is not to just hide everything. And funny, we were talking about this on our walk this morning.
About this morning.
Yeah, like not to just hide and subversively or reorient, because this is what the feminine does. It does everything hidden, secret, under the surface. So being more transparent and a little bit more like, assertive, but immediately following that with a lot of loving compassion and willingness. So it's transparency and trust, and it's an inside job for everybody. But I do feel that the masculine is right equally in it. It's funny because
Absolutely.
I felt personally more that the feminine was going to lead, but when I look at these cards, I don't think it is that. I think it's going to be both.
I mean, seems like a lot of us light workers are being pushed out of society to focus on our development and help change the planet's vibration. And it's going to take both males and females to heal themselves to have a healthy relationship. And that is essentially what you're saying here, is that the feminine really gets to be exalted by being held in the container of safety by what the masculine does so well, which is a real part of that, the purposeful part of the masculine mission. So when we can really learn to exalt each other and exalt these parts of ourselves for their strengths instead of being against those parts, I mean, it's a journey that we've had to go through because it's all parameter building. And how do we know that this doesn't work or that this is no longer ideal for us if we haven't walked that path first?
Mhm.
Right? So, yeah, there's definitely some new beginnings, and we are we see some more mind cards that come in now, and we're definitely doing we're doing a bit of some battles with the realities, and we're wanting to kind of think our way through all of this, and yet we're being invited to take some internal journeys first. And we've kind of talked to that this morning as well,
We
right?
did.
It was like the first responder wants to use its knowledge to navigate through, and we're actually being asked to use the wisdom of our internal bodies, our heart space, and like the wisdom that our bodies carry to really then move forward in a new way to sevens.
Well, interesting. Yeah. We always look at when we have two of a kind, and especially in a little spread like this, right? The odds are pretty low that there would be that. And we do have here 2 sevens and 2 aces. So two of a kinds is mastery. So we're mastering. Sevens are a lot about the spiritual focus, the self, the inside job, working on ourselves. And then the aces are about renewal and a fresh start. So each individual on a spiritual quest doing this healing within. So is it healing the cabal or is it healing the inner power dominant model? It's almost like it, and Kristal was saying this morning as well when we were out on our walk. It's like when we change in here, we don't have to do anything to the Kabbalah. It just starts to disseminate. It just shifts.
Yeah.
Like we don't actually have to. It feels like what we're doing is we're tearing down that cabal inside of us.
Yeah.
And then we are like focusing on rebuilding our lives around a new version of ourselves. And while we're busy doing that, the outside cabal is responding. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful.
Did you just do a mic drop?
Okie dokie.
I didn't even know what that was until recently. I was like, what is this thing with the hands? And
watch me and Coco, we mic drop a lot. Bam. Okay. What can Spirit tell fellow readers, tarot readers, about using AI to interpret tarot pulls, especially when it comes to ego-based questions? What should be answered by someone? That should be answered by someone else.
So let's start with tarot pull. Like, what do we need to know about AI answering tarot pulls? One. And the second one, what do we need to know about? Ooh, the cards jump. What do we need to know about that AI can't make the cards jump? What do we need to know about answering questions that are ego-based? I have some opinions about that, but I would like to see how the cards show up around these two very, very significant questions.
Yes, indeed.
I haven't really given it
shuffle
a lot of thought yet, so thank you for bringing this forward. Call to the universe.
Thank you, Linda, for your support and acknowledgement. Kristal loves seeing your show with JC and with Coco. You are absolutely inspiring. Thank you for being there. You are all absolutely inspiring to me, and I look so forward to to all of your energy and your inspiration coming through and being able to channel that with you.
There we go.
Okie dokie.
So
Here we
two
go.
piles of
Two
three.
piles of three.
One is about AI, and the second one is about ego questions. Huh.
I expected to see some more challenging cards there, to be honest with you.
I'm a little surprised.
Perplexed.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Can I jump in?
why not?
Are you saying that really, or are you just saying that to me? Did you have an idea?
I love how you're asking permission to jump in. You've just been doing it anyhow. She's so wise, though. What do? We love it.
Okay.
Carry on, please. Please, Mama.
So, Queen of Pentacles about AI, or about ego questions. I'm going to go for this first. Because how I work with questions is I really encourage people to get beyond the ego through the type of question they ask. And I guess what I mean by getting beyond the ego is that we're coming into this heart-centered, power-neutral portal of love aligned with the greater good of all that is about, it's not about like, give me what I need, or I got to know the right answer, or I got to know what's going to happen because I'm afraid. It's more about like, I want to open up to all the wisdom that my higher self wants to bring forward. I want to be curious. I want to massage my imagination with options and ideas. That's how I like to work with the tarot. It's about, expanding our perspective so that we get to make good choices. So ego questions are really not ideal for the tarot no matter what. But
same with dowsing.
Yeah. But according to these cards, and I trust the wisdom of all of our collective vision guidance coming from, because Kristal and I are coming from this heart-centered, power-neutral portal. This feels like at some level, it's a little bit like teaching a little child to walk. You got to kind of hold their hand and guide them along. And in the beginning, the ego is terrified, right? So in the beginning, and we have always said the tarot and any divination practice, it doesn't offer you necessarily what you want. And even the absolutes, like things can change. It may give you this answer, which was helping you take those next couple of steps towards your own personal best version of yourself, the greater good of all. It's not setting you up for a fall, but it may not give you, in the long run, as much expansion, perspective, creative vision if you're just asking ego questions, but it will probably give you the next little couple of steps. So that's just ego questions in general that, I prefer not to look at them from an ego perspective, but some people, this is how they start with the tarot. And I know that, when I look back at myself as 25 years plus as a new tarot reader, definitely my questions were more ego-centered back in the beginning. And so I think this is natural that people are going to start their journey this way, and it will get them to a certain point. But then you have to do some spiritual work after that. You got to go dig in a little deeper. You're not going to get super far with that, but it's a start. It puts you on the path. I don't know. Feel that about that. And then the AI piece is surprisingly similar from what I can see. What are you seeing with this, Kristal?
I mean, we speak to this in tarot as well, that, when we're reading with you and sharing this experience with you, channeling with you, that this is the perspective that your guides have asked to be brought through in the moment to send you in a direction to take this into yourself and use that wisdom to find your own truths in it and take that into action into the world, right? So it's going to have a lot to do with the person who's in receivership of these questions, not necessarily entirely the tool. So like, some AIs are quite intelligent in the way that they can answer questions, and it's up to us then to, if we're going to use AI as a tool, to be discerning with understanding that it's still just a tool, and that we are the carriers of the wisdom that we need to bring that perspective into reality. So then, taking it in, sitting with it, taking that perspective out into the world and finding our internal yes with it, following our heart with it, and really bringing that into our own resonance, not just going ahead and being like, oh, AI told me this about, my love, or
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, it's the tone, right? And it's interesting. There's a lot of pushback right now in the new versions of whatever that thing's called, Chat GPT. People are upset that it's changed its tone and it's not as considerate, it's not as caring and pathetic. And this is what people are going to it for in a lot of cases, like obviously for data and factual details and information, but also for like companionship, for a kind of care, like active listening. I mean, basically active listening, which is a tremendous therapeutic tool that counselors and psychologists have been using forever, is basically repeating back to the person what they said with a tone of real compassion and real care to make sure that they are having an opportunity to get to the deepest part of what it is that needs to be looked at. So it's basically supporting a person to do their own inner self-discovery work. And so basic AI, has the capacity to do that. So in that respect, it can be a therapeutic tool. But if that tone shifts, if it starts shifting into power, dominance, manipulation, if it starts kind of unraveling, that's where we want to be very aware. But we want to be aware with humans too. I've talked to people that went to tarot readers that told them all these terrible things were going to happen and whatever. It's like this, we're not doing this to spiritually bypass and make everything unicorns and rainbows. We're also not doing this to tell people what's going to happen to them. So if the AI is operating in this very beautiful, active listening and giving, empowering, kind of open-ended suggestions that are going to be useful in a very positive way for that individual, then I think it's fine that it's using the tarot to analyze things. I'm surprised because I wouldn't have said that. However, I would just want to finish my thought before I forget, that it also can only go so far. And this is where an advanced, experienced tarot reader that comes from that heart center space is going to be able to go a lot further. An advanced counselor, coach that has a lot of experience working with different people, that has seen these patterns before, that is operating with the energetic sense of not just what the person's saying, but the feeling energy. We can feel like AI is reading maybe facial expressions and body language, and it's doing a very good job of doing those things that a lot of people are not very good at or conscious of.
Mhm.
But a heart-centered therapist or intuitive healer can go a lot deeper than that. So to me, this is kind of entry level stuff, like to get people accustomed to the tarot. It may be not a bad idea that they come in that way, but it's likely that they're going to hit a wall at some point and go, I'm not really getting much from this. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. And I feel like this looks positive in many ways. And yet I feel like to pull three more on like what could potentially be the challenge in it, right? Had a feeling there was something behind that.
Okay, well, the challenge is you become addicted to this and you can't live without it.
Yeah.
And you're sad if it starts to get colder and not as supportive. So it's another type of addiction. Just like anything. And because it's on demand, this is where a tarot reader would say, I'm sorry, we're not going to ask that question again. We've had enough. We've had the first perspective, and I'm going to ask that you sit with that. And, you know, the way I work is I go through a whole series of layers of my own inner alignment. And if it ever gets pushed to the point where I need to close the reading and refund the money, I will do that. I will stop it. I've done it over the course of, 20 plus years of reading professionally, maybe half a dozen times. And I know myself. I know how to ethically maneuver with integrity. AI may or may not have that program built in. And so you could literally just have someone, like I've heard horror stories of people being told to like commit suicide or something. I just heard a really scary story about that. And like where people are so addicted to, I ask again, and then they get themselves just wound into this place. So I think, there almost needs to be some, what's the word I'm looking for? Regulation around this. You only get to ask one question a day, or like, it just feels like it could get very overdone if it's an on-demand thing, which it is not, right? That when people come to me with that energy, which doesn't happen very often anymore, as a newer reader, it happened more frequently. They're like, give me the answer, you're not giving me what I need, give me. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, we're gonna go at this pace, and I'm tuning in from this frequency. And if they really fight me on it, I'll just stop. Because that's my ethical agreement with spirit. So yeah, this is the problem. AI doesn't know when to stop.
Okay. And shouldn't divination tools be used with our higher self creator versus a machine?
Exactly. Like, so, I mean, this is what we've been talking about. If you go back, to like a few minutes in this, starting at the beginning.
This was a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've had it up there for a bit.
Okay.
Yes.
So, to
it was just in response
to recap that, it looks like, I'm surprised to say that there are, in the beginning, it could be supportive for someone. It's just kind of like an enhanced search engine, right? It's like you're literally, there's these, years ago, we had these, you could go online and pull 3 cards on a website or something. Like, it's just an enhanced version of that. All it's doing is it's analyzing what you're pulling. Like, so you're not going to get super far with that, but it is for people that are just new to this. It might be, instead of spending a big pile of money, going out of your comfort zone, like to even just go, yeah, wow, I pulled these oracle cards, or I pulled these tarot cards, and I was surprised that it really related to my scenario. Like, it could be an okay introduction for people. And I'm surprised to say that because, I've been very fiercely protective around keeping AI out of everything. And I'm definitely softening to see, for better or worse, it's here. And we are also there's ways that it can be like a glorified library in a way. A lot of people nowadays are not going to go out and buy a book and read 300 pages to get those 3 or 4 insights, right? They're going to ask directly ChatGPT. They're going to ask directly this tarot reading app. So if it's sort of like the transition to actually going deeper into this, hey, I want to learn how to do this for myself. I want to actually get a real reading with a professional. That's great. So, or at least acceptable according to the cards that showed up.
Can we take a few minutes and answer Dawn's question?
I think so.
It's the next one on the roster. So, and we do have 5 minutes left. So
let's do it.
Let's do it.
And thank you for that question. That was amazing.
Yeah, great question.
Was very important, I believe.
Oh, we haven't even pulled the full card view up this whole time.
Oh, I guess they needed to see our faces today. Just to make sure we're not AI avatars.
How close are we to critical mass where enough people wake up and stand up to government? How close? Yeah, I feel like for this one we can pull 3.
Let's do
it. Go ahead. What are our thoughts, everyone? How close are we to a critical mass? Oh, thanks, Ricky. And Maria, I did see, I did see your question, and I will copy that to put on the next show here. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's everybody's game at this point. I feel like actually us doing a lot of the light work that we're doing and a lot of the inner emotional advancement that's coming in is actually really going to kind of throw a loop in their game, because there is a lot of information coming out. There's a lot of communication that's coming from all different directions, to the point where it's like the government doesn't even know how to keep us down anymore.
Yeah, this feels like beautiful. And it's interesting because it's making me think about the flotillas over in that are going to Palestine to bring food to the refugees, because we got the water there, the boats, we've got the boat on the water, maritime law. It's interesting when you see all the different players, because we got like activists and climate activists and stuff on those boats, but we've also got like freedom, sovereignty people. Like, it's very interesting, and something even about like there's a lot being brought forward about different laws in the water. And I think this is going to start to really bring a lot of conversation out. Wait a minute. Like, something to do with maritime law is going to really be the straw that totally bends the needle, which is happening right now. So the next 10 days, whoa, it is spinning. And then this is moving out of troubled water, Dawn. So, when does the complete, take down, tear down, is it a transition? But waking up and standing up, I do feel like there's, as Kristal was saying, there's different versions of solidarity that are happening that are defying the polarized version. Like I'm seeing evidence of, okay, those people are from two sides. They're working together on something, and they're all in agreement about needing to address these critical things. So when you see the left and right working together on busting through agreed on things that need to get addressed and brought forward, wow, that's when we know it's on us. And I see that there's evidence of this happening. Yeah.
I love it. I agree. The time is now.
It's really now, within the next month to 4 months, it's really now. And
6
what
weeks.
It is that people, again, it's sort of like you got people jumping in the pot, right? Like from their own angle, like, okay, I can't sit back and watch anymore. I got to jump in and get involved. But then they look around and they're like, wait a minute, that's somebody from the other side. What are they doing in here? It's a little bit of this kind of, SHIT show of it's all up. And in that overcoming, because the two sides have more to gain from working together at this point, because nobody's immune. There's finger pointing, but there's agreements that, wait a minute, your side is getting shafted, your side is getting shafted. Okay, we all agree on, it's not just common enemies. It's almost like we've become a lot more savvy, and we're not just going to fall for that enemy number one, enemy number two. Like everybody on all the sides is like, no, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper into this.
Absolutely. And I feel like the dark forces is what keeps us chained to be feeling like we're at opposite sides of reality. And it's like literally this dividing force. And yet the angels and the ancestors that have been on all different sides in our lineages, doing this dance from all of these different angles, are coming together and really putting their arms out to being like, this is the time where it's going to require that we work together.
This is another ocean. This is another ocean-based.
Yes.
Look at that. We've got 3 ocean-based. So something on the ocean to do with maritime law and people all uniting. And I wonder if it isn't the Israeli-Palestinian situation. I wonder if there isn't going to be some big, collective unification around this from all directions. Because look at this. We've even got the all directions in the Wheel of Fortune, the 4 directions. You see the 4 coming from all the sides.
Right.
And then we've got the 4 pieces in the cross of the Judgment card. Those are big cards, Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune.
And here we are. I feel like by next year, Fire Horse year, we're going to be on a whole new ride. It's going to be like this, the wands are fire, right? So we've gone from the wood to the fire. It's like the new sprout that gets to be sparked from what this year has cleared for us. And this is an exciting direction that we're going into.
Yeah, so just to recap that about the year of the Fire Horse, and we are still for a few more months, and we're going back into retrograding back into all that Pisces energy, just for one last clean up the dregs. But do you feel it? It's not the dregs we were cleaning up 3 months ago. This is different. This is really the dregs. And that last bit of shedding the old skins, we got to do this completely, because it's going to be like the popcorn phenomena. Like the heat in the Fire Horse year is going to light everything, and we're going to just have new paradigm stuff leaping out. You're just going to see.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with this.
So
It's just going
much
to be
energy,
coming from all over the place.
like so much critical response, not in the mind, but in people just innovating new ways to do this and this and this and this, new currencies, new this, new that, new this, new that, new. Like it's just going to be like pop, 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 popcorn. So really be ready for that. Like have your own body, mind, and soul kind of cleansed and detoxed and release that old, shed the old stuff so that you can, you know, when all of this stuff starts activating, you're not there going, oh, I don't know if I could show up. I don't know if I believe in this. I'm too exhausted. Like we don't want to be exhausted for the fire horse people. We want to be rested and ready to rock. And it starts the beginning of February of 2026. So you've got a few months. Finish the job.
Dig deep. Do the healing work. We're here to help you out. We're doing it too.
We're doing it too. Let me tell you, Maria, thank you so much. And thank you, Dawn, for your question. Maria saying extra special what people brought for wonderful questions, right? Fantastic show. Awesome questions. Kiki coming on late and saying, I just remembered Kristal's new show. Look forward to this show. Yeah. So Kiki, Kristal's show is actually coming up
this afternoon.
It's we're trying to figure out the time.
2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST, and I think what Tarot by Lupo said is that it's 10 p.m. in the UK, from what I remember. Yeah. So, Tarot, thank you so much for tuning in with us, Tarot by Lupo. And as I said, Maria, I have seen your question, and I will bring that into my show. Question for the next show. I'll try to get on the live chat there. That seems like something I could answer.
Yeah.
Maria, if you're able to tune in with my show and you want to hear from your mom, come on over.
And please do go over there today and next week if you can, folks. Just give Kristal some support.
Or every week. I mean, you're welcome. Every week.
Or every week.
You do you. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So much love to all of you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Maria. Blessings to everybody. Have a beautiful next few days. Hang in there, do the good work, shed the old skins, and we'll see you next week.
See you tonight. This afternoon.
See you
later
this afternoon.
on.